Relief and Works Agency said Saturday 1 out of every 3 children under the age of 2 in northern Gaza are now acutely malnourished. Palestinian media outlets report 13 humanitarian aid trucks had reached parts of northern Gaza for the first time in 4 months. President Biden is urging Congress to pass a foreign aid package that includes funding for both Ukraine and Israel. The president Friday called on the House to do their part in passing a $95 billion supplemental aid package that cleared the Senate last month. A Pennsylvania man whom police say shot and killed several members of his family early Saturday is now in custody. He was caught after an hours-long standoff with police in Trenton, New Jersey, as we hear from Jonathan O'Halloran, who's there.
Authorities in Bucks County, Pennsylvania and Trenton, New Jersey say Andre Gordon Jr. killed his stepmother and teenage sister Saturday morning before breaking into another home where he killed the mother of his 2 children. Gordon then fled to New Jersey and barricaded himself inside of a home in Trenton, leading to an hours-long standoff. Police say Gordon eventually escaped from that house undetected and was found nearby. He was taken into custody without further incident.
The search and recovery efforts continue after a deadly tornado outbreak in the Midwest. Officials in Ohio say an EF3 twister swept through the town of Lakeview Thursday night, destroying homes and killing 3 people, while another EF3 twister damaged dozens of homes in Winchester, Indiana, injuring nearly 40 people there. 2023's musical version of The Color Purple was the big winner at last night's NAACP Image Awards.
Time for you to see the world.
The film took home 11 awards total, including Best Motion Picture, Fantasia Barrino winning for Best Actress. Scott Carr, NBC News Radio.
WCPT Willow Springs is powered by the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, partnering with your business to save money and energy.
From energy to public health, extreme weather, the economy, and more, Climate Connections makes the global local. Hear it weekdays during the Tom Hartman program and during Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive, right here on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
Tired of all those talking heads down the dial who think they're always right?
People need to just calm down. It's gotten ridiculous.
Welcome to WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Quite frankly, I get most of my news from you.
This is WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Think Theory Radio.
Manipulating the masses is more utilizing propaganda, gaining a wide quadrant of the public, where crowd manipulation is more focused, like the divisionary tactics of these political parties. They utilize certain talking points and phrases to target specific groups that they want to maneuver and empower and get them to do their bidding.
Think Theory Radio with Damian Perdue. Saturdays at 6 p.m. on WCPT 820.
This is an important announcement for anyone who wants health insurance, even if you missed the deadline. Right now, you can get the health insurance you and your family need from top insurance providers, even if you have pre-existing conditions or no insurance at all. The Plus Benefits Health Insurance toll-free number has been extended to help anyone who wants health insurance coverage now, or if you need a better plan or a lower price. Call Plus Benefits Health Insurance now at 800-378-1388. The call is 100% free and the help is real. Call 800-378-1388. That's 800-378-1388.
Hey, it's the Paulacious One, coming to you from the file room of the basement of WCPT 820 in Chicago. Checking the file on the Sports Cubicle. The hosts, Systems Analyst Mike Mercado, Project Manager Devin Tingle, the Marvelous One, Dan Marver in Accounting, and me, well, it doesn't matter what I do. You can check us out, the Sports Cubicle, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central on WCPT 820 Chicago. Gotta go, Sports Cubicle, 9 p.m. Sundays, WCPT.
This is a WCPT 820 Heartland Signal News Minute.
Breaking news. He's not stopping in Ukraine if he's allowed to be successful.
That's House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries speaking at a March 13th press conference about Russian President Vladimir Putin, one day after Polish President Andrzej Duda came to Capitol Hill to warn lawmakers that if the U.S. does not deliver military aid to Ukraine and halt Russian aggression, Poland will likely be on the front lines of a conflict that involves European and American troops.
It's time for my House Republican colleagues who believe that supporting Ukraine is the right thing to do to break with the pro-Putin MAGA extremists who are ascendant in their conference and partner with us to do the right thing and support an up or down vote on the national security package that was passed by the Senate.
For WCPT 820 and Heartland Signal, I'm Andy Miles.
The following program, The Lightning Strike, is sponsored by Mohammed Faheem, and to the extent applicable, their guests. The views and opinions expressed therein do not necessarily reflect those of NewsWeb Radio Company or its management.
Get ready to be jolted out of the ordinary and into a world where conversations are charged with intensity and facts. The Lightning Strike Talk Radio with your host, Mohammed Faheem, broadcasting live from the heart of the city on Chicago's Progressive Talk Radio, WCPT 820 AM. Welcome to a radio show that charges through the airwaves with an electricity like no other. Here's your host, Mohammed Faheem.
Good morning, Chicago, and welcome back to the Lightning Strike. With me in the studio today, John Arena. Ken DeLuc would be calling in. And you are welcome to call in. Also, the number to call in is 773-763-9278 or 763-WCPT. We are here every Sunday morning from 9 to 10. John, good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling today?
I am doing very well, and I'm still chuckling as what's happening with our buddy, the mayor of Orland Park, Keith Pekau. We reached out to him, folks. We reached out to him multiple times. Finally, we heard back from the mayor's office that Mayor Pekau would want to know what kind of questions we would be asking him on the air.
Yeah. And just for a primer, this was the mayor that said if the Arab Americans that in his city want to support the Palestinian brethren, they should go to Palestine.
Yeah, they should go fight for another country. That's what the mayor said. So eventually, after back and forth multiple times, we got an email back saying that the mayor, unfortunately, cannot fit it into his schedule to call in for 15 minutes on Sunday morning. So I don't know, Mayor, what you do on Sunday mornings, but 15 minutes, come on, man. You could have at least had the courtesy to call in and talk to us. I'm not asking you to defend. The questions that we were going to ask was, how long have you been a mayor? What is the job like? What are your challenges as a mayor? Those were the questions that we're going to ask. We were not going to touch on his statement or on the statement of one of his trustees. Okay, so that's where we are, folks. Here is what the Lightning Strike is all about, okay? If there's going to be some kind of, how do I put it, John? Some kind of... I don't want to use the four-letter word out there, but if some kind of doo-doo out there, we're not going to sweep it under the rug. Okay. But here's the thing, though. The citizens of Orland Park are holding their mayor accountable for his action or inaction or his words. And what we would like to do today is go back to the meeting of the village board on the 19th of February. This is like the remarks that the mayor made was on the 5th of February. But the 19th February meeting, we have got some of the citizens holding the mayor accountable for what he has said or not said. And if I can have Dylan, if you can line up clip 2, please, and give me the first clip on clip 2, you will hear that one of the residents of Orland Park is asking the mayor as to what has he done for the citizens and how can he be held accountable by the citizenship. That's where the people are now. So we'll play that in a second for you. We are also going to be talking today about Chuck Schumer's statement as to what happened and what Chuck Schumer has been saying about Netanyahu and Israel and what's happening in the war in Gaza, and how the Republicans are going red in the face now and calling Chuck Schumer all kinds of names. I mean, this is the most senior Jewish member of the Senate that we have, and he's asking for some accountability. The people are fighting back now, especially on the Republican side. But let's come back to Orland Park, and one of the residents of Orland Park, here she is. Her name is Mary Chamberlain.
Hello, my name is Mary Chamberlain. I've been an Orland Park resident for several years. I like my neighbors, and there are many great things about living here in Orland Park, including our brave and accomplished police department. However, I watched the live stream video of the last board meeting that took place on February the 5th and felt that, unfortunately, that was not Orland Park's finest hour. Members of Orland Park's Arab American community spoke at the meeting and gave a passionate plea for the village to enact a symbolic Gaza ceasefire. Mayor Pekau, you responded that the war is a foreign policy issue in which the village has no influence or authority. Our mayor and our board of trustees, however, do have the influence and authority to set the tone for listening and providing empathy over concerns that village residents bring to them. That evening you said that if you're an American citizen, you can go to another country and support that country. While you, Mr. Mayor, will always support American interests. The Arab American residents who brought their concerns to the board's meeting that night, among them business leaders, educators, doctors who spoke eloquently, showed they also fully contribute to America and serve Orland Park's community interests. You know, Mr. Mayor, it wasn't the time for a history lesson from someone who failed to talk about the complexities of the Middle East region. Instead of a conciliatory tone reflecting the terrible human tragedy that Orland Park Arab American family members are experiencing, your words were, you know, I hate to say this, they were tone deaf. And those of the trustees were mostly mute. You said numerous times that
There you go, folks. You heard what Mary Dickinson had to say up in Orland Park. And Ken is joining us also. Ken, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing today?
Pretty good. So you heard what Mary Dickinson was saying about Mayor Pekau, and I guess that pretty much lays out what we wanted to say about what happened in Orland Park. Folks, here's the thing. Okay, no matter that if a local village passes a resolution against asking for peace in Gaza, against the war in Gaza, it's not going to have a national impact, okay? It's not going to change anything policy-wise. But on a humanitarian ground, a lot of local villages now have gone ahead and passed resolutions. Villa Park passed a resolution recently. Mm-hmm. The city of Chicago was the first one to do that. Yeah. Bolingbrook was the second one to do that. And a lot of people are getting up and saying, hey, come on, give it a break. This is not what our country is all about. And on that note, what we will do is we will play clip number 3 that if we could, from the same clip, if you could, Dylan, if you could line that up. And here is an Arab American citizen who was born in Chicago, grew up over here, and he is talking about his family's contribution to America over the last 100 years, when the mayor claimed that he was an American and no one else had the right to speak on behalf of America. Please listen to this.
Good evening. My name is Fawzi Hassan. I'm an American Palestinian born in Chicago. My parents moved to Oak Lawn when I was 2 years old. I graduated from Oak Lawn High School. I moved to Orland Park in 1992. My kids graduated from Sandburg High School. My grandfather was a World War II veteran. My father was a Korean War veteran. My uncle is a Vietnam War veteran. My brother-in-law is a Desert Storm veteran. And my cousin is also a Desert Storm veteran. I challenge anyone who's pompous enough to question our patriotism, coming from a family with almost 100-year history defending the freedom of this country and thinks that their Palestinian American voters aren't watching. Thank you.
There you go, folks. There you go.
It's amazing that, any individual, one person can, shout, but it's a collective voice that is what our country's based on. And yes, we have policies, and the only way they're changed is by a demand from the people that you represent. And so for the mayor to say, what, this isn't our fight, is to miss the entire point of why you hold board meetings and why you ask your constituents for their opinions on matters big and small.
Yep, and for the record, folks, Mayor Pekau, you still have an open invitation from the lightning strike to come and talk to us and let us know. Sometimes it happens, Mayor. Okay, we all get passionate, but there should be a limit to challenging someone's patriotism and say that you are a bigger patriot than the constituents of your town.
Yeah, that's too arrogant.
Here is Mr. Fauzi, who just said that his family has over a 100-year record of serving the country. On that note, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back after that with more conversations. You're tuned into The Lightning Strike. I'm your host, Mohammed Faheem. With me in the studio, John Arena. Ken DeLuc is calling in today.
Are you ready for a fresh voice in Congress? Meet Manur Ahmed, your progressive candidate for the 6th Congressional District of Illinois. When it comes to women's rights and reproductive freedom, Manur is a fierce advocate. She will protect a woman's right to make her own health care decisions and ensure equal pay for equal work. But that's not all. Manur is dedicated to enacting common sense gun reform, addressing the climate crisis with urgency, and championing the issues that matter most to our senior citizens. With Manur Ahmed in Congress, we can build a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Vote Manur Ahmed in the upcoming Democratic Party primary election on March 19th, and let's create a brighter tomorrow together. Visit AhmedForHouse.com to learn more and join the campaign for a better 6th. Demand for an end to the war in Gaza. Ceasefire now. Paid for by Ahmed for House. Approved by Manur Ahmed.
This is Manur Ahmed, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Faheem.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Lightning Strike, and Manur Ahmed would be joining us on the air also today in just a few minutes. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call in. The number to call in is 773-763-WCPT or 763-9278. Continuing the conversation now, we are going to slightly pivot and go back to our clip number 1. And that is the Senate Majority Leader, Chuck Schumer. Remember, he is the senior-most Jewish member of the Senate. And now he is also asking Netanyahu to tamp it down or for Israel to have fresh elections. And a lot of people are fighting back on that now, as America should not be, intervening in other countries. And come on, man, we have been intervening in other countries for a long time now, okay, to put it mildly. But here's Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
As a democracy, Israel has the right to choose its own leaders, and we should let the chips fall where they may. But the important thing is that Israelis are given a choice. There needs to be a fresh debate about the future of Israel after October 7th. It is best accomplished by holding an election.
This is my...
Okay, so that is accomplished by holding an election. So no one is talking about bringing down a government, but it's all about Netanyahu. It's not about Israel. It's not about the Jewish people, but this Zionist clique that is out there that is driving the whole world towards World War III now. And if you want to comment on it, feel free. Give me a call, 773-763-9278. Again, you're tuned in to the Lightning Strike. And in America now, folks, there is this big movement going on about holding our government, our president, accountable for his inaction and blind support for Israel all this past 5 months now. And slowly the president is starting to realize that maybe that was not the right tactic to use. And there is this movement on for abandon Biden going on. And a lot of the primaries that have gone on, especially in Michigan, about 100,000 people voted to say that they're not going to vote for Biden. And there is a complete movement going on now. I'm just looking at some numbers over here. 29% of voters in Hawaii voted uncommitted. Washington State had over 56,000 votes for uncommitted delegates. Georgia's ballot did not have an uncommitted option, so organizers there put together a Leave It Blank campaign, calling on voters to cast a ballot, but not fill it out to send a message to Biden on Gaza. Nearly 6,500 voters there left it blank, and nearly 9,000 voters chose Marianne Williamson, which some protest voters have selected because she supports a ceasefire. Combined, the votes exceed Biden's margin of victory in the state in 2020, which was about 12,000 votes. And we have our primary coming up on Tuesday, a couple of days from now. And there is a huge movement on in Illinois now, also to leave the presidential ballot blank. Ken always has a view on this. And Ken, if you want to jump in and you talk about,
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, again, my three favorite words is compare to what. And I appreciate the fact that the electorate is sending a message to Biden. But you have to look at his point of view. He's kind of walking a tightrope between having to publicly support Israel and then privately completely not on the side of Netanyahu. I mean, the problem that we have, folks, is that we're all in this mindset, or our country is going through this mindset of an authoritarian dictatorship, whether it be Netanyahu, whether it be the orange narcissist, whether it be, all these. I guess the point I'm trying to make is that our democracy is at a tipping point right now, and you do have to send the messages, but you also have to look at the compare to what scenario and vote to do what's in our best interest. And I really commend Chuck Schumer for calling for a re-election, because really the only reason why Yahoo, as Mohammed likes to call him, is even still in office is because he doesn't want to go to jail, so he's trying to push his agenda to make all that.
Yeah, it's not about Israel. It's not about the Jewish people. It's about saving his own behind. And on that note, we have Barry from Wicker Park wanting to make a comment and join the conversation on Chuck Schumer. Good morning, Barry. You're on the Lightning Strike.
Yeah, hi. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I just want to point out that Chuck Schumer and the rest of the Democrats on this topic, for the most part, are totally disingenuous. It's election season. Chuck Schumer understands and sees the writing on the wall that actually voting does make a difference. Voting for Trump or Biden doesn't make as much of a difference, but voting uncommitted makes a difference, because it's showing Democratic leadership that people are not going to take it anymore. There's a segment of the population that says, I don't care about your choice of Trump. I don't care about your scaring us with Trump. We are not going to allow you to do this anymore. And so I think Chuck Schumer realizes that. He calls Israel a democracy. It's a theocracy. And he has been the foremost backer of Netanyahu since he's been in office. So he's totally disingenuous. He's a total hypocrite.
Yep, and I agree with you on that. Not just Chuck Schumer, even Biden is disingenuous on this one. And slowly now he's looking at the writing on the wall and trying to turn his comments around, and in public and in private. And that's the kind of leadership we have, okay? We have to send this message by voting uncommitted in the primaries, so they get to understand that you cannot jack around people all the time. Phil from Northside wants to make a comment. Phil, thank you for joining us. Good morning. You are on the Lightning Strike.
Good morning, Mohammed.
Good morning.
Okay. It's a question to kind of rhetorical for the people behind the abandoned Biden movement.
which I do understand, but let's say we get another 215, and because of refusal to vote or third party, or for whatever reason, Trump's allowed to squeak back into office indefinitely. How do they see that? I mean, how would that affect the poor people of Palestine? Better, worse? Would things stay the same?
Oh, Trump is going to be so much worse for the people of Palestine. We cannot even begin to imagine that. Okay,
but I think we're jumping the gun getting to the general election, and I think just like we are talking about Orland Park and the population there asking for a resolution to carry their voice further, what's going on with the non-committed is that people are sending a message to our leadership, and our leadership is what it is, and they are weather vanes for the most part, if you think of them that way. Chuck Schumer is feeling the blow of that breeze in his ear. Biden is hearing it. The way they hear it is how people vote, and it's in the primaries. Biden's going to be the nominee.
Yeah.
But what we see is the word ceasefire being put in his mouth after Michigan. Vice President Harris has said this.
Yes,
go ahead, Phil. I got to agree with you on that end because, first of all, that prior caller, Schumer's not being a hypocrite, okay? He's not being disingenuous. Basically, he's adapting to the changes. He's understanding where the population is set, and he's responding as some good politician should be, representing his constituency. So maybe if you asked him a year ago, his opinion on Israel would have been a lot different than it is today, okay? Politics change, people change, and you got to adapt to all that.
And look at the response. The Orland Park mayor says, you're un-American. Go somewhere else. You don't belong here. Versus a shifting of policy, a shifting of messaging. Yeah, I mean, we'd love them to be where we want them to be all the time, but that's not possible in a complicated country. In this moment, what's going on right now is right, and it's having an effect, and that's the pressure the population can put on government in order to get it to move where it wants to go as a majority.
And that's why,
can I ask another?
Yeah, that's why, Phil, we say that it's yeah, sure, but we do say that it is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. Go ahead, Phil. Final thought from you. We have to take some other calls.
Sure. With Orland Park, I can't stand that guy, Pico. But I do know a little about Orland Park. I don't see him being voted out, but all he's doing is regurgitating the America First rhetoric that Trump spews out, in my opinion, and he's catering to his base, red meat for his base. But I don't see, unfortunately, do you think we could do something, some kind of campaign to get him voted out?
We did invite him to come on the air, and he has politely declined.
He's a coward.
Yeah, he has politely declined, saying that Mayor Pekau has a very busy schedule Sunday mornings, okay? So he can't call in at least for a few minutes. But here's the thing, Phil. The people of Orland Park are now attending every village board meeting.
Good.
And they are holding him accountable. If you go and check out the village board meetings online, you will see them. We just played like a couple of clips. There was like almost half an hour of public outrage in the board meetings. Phil, thank you so much for calling in, and let's go to Earl in Hyde Park. Earl, good morning. Thank you for calling in. You're on the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Faheem and Ken DeLuc and John Arena.
All right. Thank you very much for taking my call. I appreciate it. This is the first time calling in.
Sure. Thank you for listening.
And what I wanted to say was that some of your callers, I think, are not being overly objective. By that I mean, if they think that Trump is going to be better for the Palestinian government, if you think that Trump is going to be a better player on the world stage as far as supporting NATO, Europe, and the aggressive nature of China and Russia and North Korea, I think there's another trick to it. Because they don't remember that he was saying that he got love letters from the leader of North Korea.
Korea, yeah.
You know, yes, and he's been fawning over all of the dictatorships around the world. And if you think that the Palestinian people will get a better shakeout than with Trump than with Joe Biden, I think they're sadly mistaken in that they want to vote that route, which is their individual right. Remember now, this is America, and nobody's putting a gun to your head making you do vote. But you have to consider the overall terrain of the landscape here, and that if you think that Trump is going to do a better job as far as the Palestinian movement, I would suggest that they are sadly mistaken.
Sure.
Okay, and there's nothing in Trump's record that would support that.
Yeah, totally agree with you.
And
totally
Trump's
agree
been
with
clear.
you, Earl. And Trump
has said, finish the job. I mean, that's
Trump
his word.
Trump is our local Netanyahu. Okay, Trump is running to protect his behind, because he knows that once this election is over, if he does not make it into the Oval Office, man, he's going to go into some other places which are not going to be too good for him, but he will be wearing some orange suits, I guess, right? Not just the orange color. Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this with the lightning strike. If you want to call in, folks, join the conversation. The number to call in, 773-763 WCPT or 763-9278. If you want to come in as a guest on the show, please go to our website, TLS for the lightning strike, TLSchicago.com. Send us a request, and we'd love to have you as a guest coming on the show.
Are you ready for a fresh voice in Congress? Meet Manor Ahmed, your progressive candidate for the 6th Congressional District of Illinois. Manor Ahmed stands for values that matter to you. She believes in health care for all, ensuring that every American has access to quality, affordable health care, regardless of their income or background. Manor is committed to revolutionizing our education system, fighting to make college tuition free for working families, and tackling the student debt crisis head on. Visit AhmedForHouse.com to learn more and join the campaign for a better 6th. Demand for an end to the war in Gaza. Ceasefire now. Paid for by Ahmed for House. Approved by Manor Ahmed.
This is Manor Ahmed, and I approve this message.
Hey folks, did you know there's a program in Illinois that if you qualify for it would allow you to get solar installed in your home at no out-of-pocket cost? The benefit to you would be a reduction of your electric bill, possibly as high as 30 to 50%, and more importantly, you would take out the uncertainty of almost guaranteed future price increases imposed from your electric company. If you'd like to see if you can qualify for this program, call Ken DeLuc at 312-617-8979. That's 312-617-8979. Help us save the environment and change that electric bill burden.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Faheem.
Welcome back, folks. You are tuned into the Lightning Strike. We come every Sunday morning, 9 to 10, and Chicago's progressive talk radio station, WCPT, 820 AM. And you can join the conversation by calling in 773-763-9278. Now, our former president, Donald Trump, has vowed on Saturday, this is yesterday, that there would be a quote-unquote bloodbath if he's not reelected in November. Now, the comments came at a rally as Trump discussed the possibility of an increasing trade war with China over auto manufacturing. The rally was intended to get out the vote for Republican Senate candidate Bernie Moreno, whom Trump endorsed in December ahead of Ohio's primary on Tuesdays. Trump goes on to say, and I'm quoting, "If you are listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal. Those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, you're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us? No, we are going to put 100% tariff on every single car." I mean, most of the time now, John, you're saying that if when Trump is talking, there's something wrong in the way that he is even talking, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's having a lot of like mental and physical glitches while he's doing these. He said the other day that that Biden beat Obama, Like, I mean, come on. You know, this is kind of basic stuff where you're talking about mental competence. And he's going to tell us what his policy is on China. Yeah, you're going to put 100% tariff on foreign everything. He tried that with steel. I mean, we went through this already. And it was a complete debacle.
Yeah, let me just say something real quick.
Yes, Ken.
A tariff is a tax on the U.S. population.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt China. They're basically charging a tax to, spend money from things coming in overseas on us.
Yeah.
So the tariff is just going to hurt us.
China's
it's not
built-
going to hurt the other company.
Yeah, China's built the Silk Road. They have plenty of market around the globe where as we pull back and become more nationalist and say, well, we don't want to be globalists, after we created the global economy by going into China and building their manufacturing facilities and hiring their people to build our cheap CD players. Now we're going to say, well, we don't want to be globalists. Well, you could, sure, get to the back of the line and pay high prices for things because you don't have, I mean, it's a moronic statement to say you're going to do this.
It is a Trumpian statement, okay?
Wow.
I mean,
it's just off the cuff, stream of consciousness.
The term moronic is part of it now. Now he goes on to say that it says, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it, he added. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive... I mean, he's jumping all over the place, folks.
So we're all going to die. I wonder who's going to be dying. Because
here's another.
A lot of these militia kind of folks think that they're going to go up against the U.S. military and come away clean.
Yeah, here's another part of that. He said, if this election isn't won, I'm not sure that you'll ever have another election in this country. Hey, my Republican friends out there, why are you listening to this idiot? I'm so sorry, man. I don't like to use tough words like that, especially in Ramadan when I'm fasting. I like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Wow, you're quoting Robert De Niro now. Did you hear? Robert De Niro was on Jimmy Kimmel and just basically said, "This guy's so stupid." But I mean, this is the scary part of this. Like, we can joke about it, but you do have a contingent that think this guy's got his handle on any of these complicated issues. And you see right now, you're seeing so many people who are in his administration, Pence, Mike Kelly. All these folks that were in positions and were the governors on controlling his childish impulses to guide our country. And they're all like, we're not voting for this guy. We're voting for Biden because this is the stark choice in a general election. And that's what Ken keeps making the point of, compared to what? Compared to a dictator who said he's going to be a dictator
on day one
and is going to shoot people. He asked Mike Esper was relaying the story in his latest book about how Trump was like, well, can't we just shoot him in the leg? This is about protesters in Washington shooting American people in Washington, D.C. This guy's America. That's the vision for America that Trump offers.
Folks, so you have a
John,
choice.
It's a good thing that Trump doesn't listen to this show. We'd be in big trouble.
Yeah, we're on a list somewhere.
Hey, listen. We are not saying anything that he hasn't said, okay? I'm actually literally quoting his exact words. I'm not even paraphrasing it, Ken. So what can he do? Hold me accountable for what he said himself, okay? Now, this is the guy. He's a loser, okay? He got beat by over 7 million votes, and then instead of appealing to a wider mainstream audience, doubles down on his threats of political violence, okay? He wants another January 6th, but I don't think that's going to happen. Okay, even his vice president that he tried to get killed, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, they had a noose hanging. They were going to hang.
Yeah, there was a noose hanging for Mike Pence. He announced that he will not endorse Trump's re-election bid. What a wise man.
Well, I don't have a lot of, of all the things Mike Pence has contributed to society, it's a little bit. I guess I'll give him the inch that he's moving there.
Okay, so folks, we are having a lot of fun today, and every Sunday we have a lot of fun over here. So if you want to join the conversation, get a little bit relief from the moronic statements that you keep hearing on Fox News all during the week.
Our listeners don't listen to Fox News. Come on. Give them the credit they deserve.
Sometimes they do, man. I try to listen to Fox News just to find out what the heck is happening across the wall over there.
I put it on for 5 minutes, and then my blood pressure gets too high. Doctor is told me to...
Yeah. The number to call in, 773-763-9278. We do have a couple of callers online. We'll get back to you in just a minute. Again, remember that the lightning strike is your show. It's not my show. It's not John's or Ken's show. It is something that we are doing to get the word out to people. The primary election, folks, is in 2 days. Please go out and vote. And I have been very vocal about it. Vote the incumbents out. No matter who they are, these people are not representing us, the people. They represent the people who put up millions of dollars to keep these people in office. Just vote all the incumbents out, okay? Yeah, a couple of them may be good, but what can you do? It's very tough to make those decisions,
I would
right?
call for a little more nuanced approach. Maybe do a little homework on the guy or gal that's representing you.
But
because you can't just... The whole throw all the bums out is kind of the far right rhetoric, and I know you're not that guy.
I know, John, but I mean, if somebody have got $1 million+ in their election fund, and then you find out that they are being what can I say? They are being funded by people that they are writing the laws for. Time to challenge them.
Yeah, and that's the kind of information voters need to make educated choices.
Absolutely.
About who represents.
So we got Howard calling in from Skokie on the ceasefire, and let's see what Howard has to say. Howard, good morning.
Good morning. A different perspective on the situation.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, for there to be a ceasefire, you got to get Hamas in on it, and they're making ridiculous demands for a ceasefire to take place. So even if Israel would go along with the idea of a ceasefire, they wouldn't go along with it, even logically, under the terms that Hamas is proposing. Also, don't forget that Hamas is itself committing a war crime and putting its equipment and fighters amongst the civilian population.
Hey, Phil, Howard, let me ask you, where else are they supposed to put themselves? They live in that place, man. I wanted to ask a question which I've asked before. Let us assume that Hamas had done this evil thing. Let's not give them any break. Hamas is evil, okay? We'll keep on repeating it till doomsday. But if they had done that and they had gone and hid themselves in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem, do you think the IDF would have gone and bombed entire cities to get them? It is not so much about Hamas or trying to get them, man. It is about land grab. That's what it's all about. And Netanyahu trying to keep his behind in office. Howard, thank you so much for calling in. Phil, we got you back on the air. And if you want to talk about drones for a couple of seconds, man, where are drones coming in? Phil, what have you been smoking, my friend?
Yeah, the Trump and his cul-de-sac commando MAGA army, the bloodbath thing.
Okay.
Biden's still going to be in office if he does try to throw another insurrection. Trump will not be able to suppress a National Guard response. And my one word is drones, baby. Drones, baby, drones.
Hey, Phil, I'm fasting right now, so I can't even smoke anything, man. But I want to see what you're smoking. We need to sit down after Ramadan is over.
Oh, my God. He does have a point. The U.S. military is a pretty accomplished military. It's really ironic that all the, pretty much guys on the far right, pretty much praise our military for being really good at what they do. And, I'm kind of thinking those aren't the guys you want to go up against with just an AR-15. You're going to need a little more.
a little more firepower and a little more of an armor going in. Thank you, Phil, for calling in. We got Manur Ahmad calling in, and she is actually, I'm pretty sure, running around at the last minute, knocking on doors, getting those voters to come out and vote. Manur, good morning. Thank you for calling in.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Oh, we're having fun as usual. We're laughing till we cry. That's where we're at.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, election day is Tuesday, so just 2 days, and we're just, knocking doors, getting as much voter outreach as possible at this point. So it's been fun.
What are you hearing out there?
Oh, by the way, I have to congratulate you on your TV ad. I thought it was amazing. It was really good.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're just trying to, build as much awareness as possible about our campaign and what we stand for.
Okay, folks, again, this is Manur Ahmed. Manur is running in the primary for the 6th Congressional District. And if you have not voted yet, please go out and vote, okay? We got only a couple of days left now to make a change.
Yeah.
And
Manur, what are some of the issues you're hearing about at the doors?
Number one issue is still, health care, and a lot of people are concerned about, just the humanity, and the party's not standing for humanity. People are sick and tired of war. Mm-hmm. They want to move forward with, bringing the tax dollar home and basically constructive, not destructive work.
Good.
Okay. Well, hope that you have a good turnout and hope that you make it into Congress. We need people with new ideas in Congress, folks. We cannot continue. We cannot continue to keep bringing in these folks for 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 terms. Nothing is going to change. They're going to be voting for those people who are funding them to keep them in Congress. Manur Ahmed, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck on Tuesday. We have to get going for our Person of the Week, who is Paul Dickerson is our Person of the Week. And folks, you are tuned in to the Lightning Strike. We'll take a quick break and come back with Paul Dickerson, who is our Person of the Week, and you get to see and get to hear who Paul is and what he is doing to be considered a Person of the Week on the Lightning Strike.
Are you ready for a fresh voice in Congress? Meet Manur Ahmed, your progressive candidate for the 6th Congressional District of Illinois. When it comes to women's rights and reproductive freedom, Manur is a fierce advocate. She will protect a woman's right to make her own health care decisions and ensure equal pay for equal work. But that's not all. Manur is dedicated to enacting common sense gun reform, addressing the climate crisis with urgency, and championing the issues that matter most to our senior citizens. With Manur Ahmed in Congress, we can build a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Vote Manur Ahmed in the upcoming Democratic Party primary election on March 19th, and let's create a brighter tomorrow together. Visit AhmedForHouse.com to learn more and join the campaign for a better 6th. Demand for an end to the war in Gaza. Ceasefire now. Paid for by Ahmed for House. Approved by Manur Ahmed.
This is Manur Ahmed, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to the Lightning Strike with Mohammed Faheem.
Okay, folks, welcome back to the Lightning Strike. And on that note, we have Sheila White, our segment producer for Person of the Week. Sheila, good morning.
Good morning, everyone. I'm really excited to have our Person of the Week, the organization of the week this morning. His name is Paul Dickerson, and he is a person that is really helping out in the Will County area with nutritional food pop-ups for families that are having hard times, that have illnesses and things in their family. I'd just like to welcome Paul Dickerson to the show this morning.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning. And we have heard so much about the kind of work that you do. In fact, I think, we did participate in one of the pop-ups that you had for the nutritional food giveaway at the Holiday Inn in Joliet a couple of months back. And Paul, tell us a little bit about what you do, why are you doing it, and how can people follow you and do the same in their neck of the woods?
Absolutely. My name is, like you said, Paul Dickerson. I am a licensed social worker, and my passion is helping people who have chronic illness and are suffering from food insecurity. So So what I do with my mentor, Dr. Ann Jackson, and the Center for Food Equity and Medicine, we do these pop-up events, and she extended her services to do the pop-up event in Joliet, where we set up these tables and have all sorts of healthy food options for patients or recipients to come in and receive the items free, no question asked type of thing, to give them some dignity and respect. So we make sure there's quality food that these patients are receiving.
Wow. Well, go ahead, Sheila.
It's really important because a lot of people in America right here, we're talking about America and things that are going on. Election time is up now. It's coming up. There are a lot of people in America that have food inequities that are going on. And we kind of have to look at home. And so it's really important to get out the vote because people that can help America in our times of need and crisis. We're looking overseas and looking around the world, but there's a lot of issues that we have at home, and people like Paul are helping to make a difference in their communities.
So, Paul, when you run into people and you talk to them, what is the greatest insecurity that you see as far as food is concerned? Is it for the patients or the patients' families? Why are our social services not picking up some of the slack?
Absolutely. The biggest issue is for the patient's family because, any parent or head of household, they always put your family before your own health and your own needs. So these people are wanting to sacrifice their treatment and their health just to make sure that it's food on the table for their loved ones and their family. And that's something that no one should even have to choose or have to go with or, think about it. Feeding my family or taking treatment. That's something that's just really boggling to me that it shouldn't even happen to nobody.
Okay. And if people want to come out and help, is there any kind of contact information that you can share?
Absolutely. If anybody wanted to know more about the program that I'm doing or want to reach out, you can reach out to me via email, which is pwd1983@gmail.com. That's my personal email address if you want to know more information. Or if you wanted to make a financial contribution and help with the fight against food insecurity, you could always donate via Cash App, Helping Joliet. That's the name of it. It's Helping Joliet. And those funds 100% go to putting food on my community residents' table.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Paul. Paul Dickerson is our person of the week. And if you want to reach out to Paul to help, the email is pwd1983@gmail.com. And you can also help out by giving a cash contribution through the Cash App. Helping Joliet is where you have to send the money. And Paul, thank you so much for joining us. Folks, we will continue the conversation, and we've got a few minutes left, but the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described Chuck Schumer's calls for elections in the country as totally inappropriate. Of course, it's totally inappropriate because you're going to lose your behind, Mr. Netanyahu. The World Health Organization chief says that he is gravely concerned after Netanyahu approved plans for the country's offensive in Rafah. President Biden has been telling him not to do it, but this tail is wagging the American dog like crazy. Mm-hmm. And we have to pay attention to these folks. Netanyahu's office said that the military is preparing to evacuate the estimated 1.4 million civilians stuck there amid international concern over their fate. Now, thousands of protesters have filled the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem on Saturday night, calling for the return of hostages in Gaza and for the resignation of the Israeli government. Now, these are Israeli citizens doing this. Mm-hmm. It's not Palestinians or some other people. Mm. Some have called for elections near one of Netanyahu's homes. The death toll in Gaza since October 7 has surpassed 31,600. according to the Ministry of Health in Gaza, which says 92 people have been killed in the Strip over the past 24 hours. What the heck is happening, man? We are watching genocide in 4K happening in front of our eyes. And if we don't call it out, who will? The village of Plainfield, at the village board meeting on Monday the 18th, which is tomorrow, is going to have a proclamation by the mayor asking for an immediate ceasefire. So American citizens are taking notice. And I think Mr. Netanyahu better take notice that, we are not sheep over here like you see over in some other parts of the world, Mr. Netanyahu. We are American citizens. We have what is called as the right to freedom and the right to free speech. We are going to speak out. And you cannot stop us by putting up billboards. I was driving down to the studio today, and I saw a billboard saying the Jewish people's lives are at stake. A billboard.
Yeah. Yeah, on 294. I think I've seen that one.
Okay, come on, man. Give me a break. No one is against the Jewish people. The Jewish people are great people. We'll have a few people from the Jewish Voice for Peace speaking tomorrow at the village of Plainfield. No one is against the Jewish people. It is against the Zionist ideology that even the Jewish people are saying that does not, it's not my Judaism, is like one of the speakers said in the last meeting in Orland Park. Okay, so folks, this is the Lightning Strike. It is your show. If you want to call in, be a part of the show. If you want to join us as a guest, please go to our website, tlschicago.com, and send us a request to come in as a guest. And we are non-political, non-partisan, but we are not going to take the CRAP that our orange clown past president is trying to dish out. Okay. I wish there was someone else running as a Republican. So we could have had a nuanced conversation. But with this guy, there is no nuanced conversation. Right, John?
Yeah, there isn't. And he can't articulate what his policy. He's never been able to finish a thought or a sentence. And now we see, that it's an authoritarian dictatorship that he wants to establish. He wants to be able to just do whatever he wants. Shoot American citizens, he's calling immigrants non-human animals. I mean, this is beyond the pale. And we have to have this conversation through November, and it's on the Biden campaign and Joe Biden to earn the votes he's going to get in order to win. But it is a stark choice right now. But keep using your voice, everybody out there. Keep talking to your local officials, because it's collectively that our voice rises up.
Right, and Ken has this great thing. Yes, Ken.
Let me say one. Let me just say one real quick thing, too. Now, I don't know if you guys heard this past week, but our whiny little orange narcissist also said that he wants to cut entitlements. Okay, Social Security, he wants to cut Medicare. Well, guess what? I've been paying into this thing for the past 50 years. We've already paid for this, and he thinks he can find cuts to take it away from everybody. People, you got to vote in what's your own best interest. You have to look at the big picture and do what's good for you and the country.
And in today's world, there's no such thing as that you cannot find information. Go ahead, log on to the different websites over there, go on the internet, find out about the people that you're going to be putting in office. And on that note, we will be seeing you again the next Sunday, bright and early, 9 o'clock on WCPT 820 AM. This is Mohammed Faheem and John Arena and Ken DeLuc signing off. See you all next week.
The preceding program, The Lightning Strike, was sponsored